It's Tracy Lewin.
And Peter Murray. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning, Peter. How are you today?
Excellent, excellent. Just cold and rainy in London.
Again. This time I hope you took your umbrella.
I did. I took my umbrella and I took my scarf.
Good for you. Well, Peter, we've had a very interesting weekend. We did a recording yesterday about the price.
Yes, and the price made a technical breakout on, when was the Saturday night?
Yes, Saturday. You know, all the action seems to happen on a Saturday night.
Yeah, no, the price went over to 650. I think it's still over 650, isn't it?
Yes, and well, it depends on which exchange you look at. So, but an average of the Kaiko one is over 600, 650 at the moment. So, yeah, interesting days ahead.
I think I've read some news on the Chinese currency and stuff like that, and I think, Tracy, the Bitcoin market is poised to go significantly higher, in my view.
Yes, there is a bit of a problem with the yuan, and there's a lot going down in China.
Yeah, everywhere. There's uncertainty everywhere. I see now in Britain, the guys were saying this morning there's uncertainty about Carney and his continued role at the Bank of England, which means that's more uncertainty even after Brexit.
Oh, really? Sure, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so we could see the pound lose some more value.
Well, you know, just about a week ago, in fact, they said that this wasn't the one, what was it, 1.2? They just said it wasn't going to be the lowest, that the pound was going to go to the dollar.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. So let's talk about the news. You know, we're going through our Facebook page. Actually, we found this is working quite well because, you know, if anybody's watching this and wants to find out what we're doing on our page, you can go and read these stories that we talk about. So the first one is blockchain platform developed by banks to be open source. And they said that there's a blockchain platform developed by a group that includes more than 70 of the world's biggest financial institutions. And making its code publicly available. I mean, this is good news.
Well, the reason why they do that is, you know, they really tap into the developer community because open source software has been very, very popular and very successful.
Yes, and it also means that people are working on the same page.
Yes, yes. Everyone knows what's going on and they can contribute and they can, you know, iron out bugs as they go along and basically people build a thing for them for free.
Yeah, and also in terms of, you know, bank-to-bank transfers, at least, you know, they're going to be building systems that are going to be talking to each other.
Absolutely true.
Okay, cool. So, debit cards. You know, everybody wants to know how can they spend their Bitcoin. You know, there's a lot of retailers out there that don't take Bitcoin, but they do take debit cards. So why is Bitcoin debit cards is a small but promising industry sector? Because this is just the way it's going to work.
I think this is the thing, you know, the people were thinking of Bitcoin adoption in the beginning as websites having Bitcoin buttons and shops having all kinds of things to, you know, technology to accept Bitcoin. But what has really happened is that people have found a way now to put their Bitcoins onto a debit card and they can go to any shop. It really means you can spend your Bitcoin anywhere. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that really makes a big difference.
So there are some cards that actually, when you have in fact, I've got a card like this. It doesn't actually have any Bitcoin on the actual card, but when I swipe the card, what happens is there's obviously a message gets back to the card company. They then send another message through to get to retrieve my Bitcoin, and then it comes back in whichever currency that I'm going to be using. But there are sometimes, you know, it does time out. So that's a little bit of a.
Well, I've got two different ones. I have that one as well, but I'm not really keen on using it that way because also you've got to wait for confirmation sometimes and stuff like that. Whereas a more popular one, and it's becoming more popular now, is where you actually take your Bitcoin and you transfer you transfer it to a different currency and load that currency on a card.
Yes,
and then you can use it anywhere.
That's exciting because that means that, you know, no one can actually even go in and get into your card and sort of withdraw all the funds. So,
No.
because you have limited funds there. So I'm waiting for mine. It's in the post.
Excellent.
Right. So let's go up. How's this? Yacht rental company accepts Bitcoin as use of crypto in luxury sector grows. So you know what, these guys apparently were involved in also selling many Tesla cars for Bitcoin, and now they're into yachts.
Well, this is interesting that people can now use their Bitcoin to buy luxury goods and services and stuff like that, to actually use their Bitcoins.
Absolutely. Here's another interesting story. Hedge fund managers struggle to master their miserable new world. Yet they've had average returns of a miserable 2%, and there's a huge amount of, I think it was 28 billion or something like that that's been moved out of hedge funds in the last while.
98% of all fund managers underperform the index over time. You know, most of these guys are, they're well paid and whatever, but the actual fact is they're useless because they all have certain periods where they do well, but over the long time, this has been proven over and over. They can't outperform the index. So if you guys are involved in investment, go buy yourself an index fund every month, and you'll outperform 98% of all fund managers.
Interesting that, Peter. Or otherwise, become your own hedge fund manager, and buy Bitcoin.
Well, the thing is, I think Bitcoin is going to be a common asset class that hedge funds will definitely start investing in. We've seen that already. There's a lot of new development in that area.
I just want to read this quote. Blockchain technology undermines the middleman business model. It makes it harder to cheat in transactions and also reduces the value of credibility lent by trusted intermediaries.
Well, this is the thing, previously in business, you had to rely on middlemen to actually certify things. But if you take the middleman out, and the middleman is a technology, that means it takes a lot of human error out of the system. It takes the need for human trust, human integrity, everything out, because you now have mathematical integrity. And as we all know, 1 and 1 is always 2.
Yes, correct. And just talking about the blockchain, and our sponsors, Swiss Bank in your pocket. I mean, it works directly on the blockchain. So that's fantastic news. You can be your own bank.
Yes, you just load up the technology, you interact directly with the blockchain, which means, there's no central server or middleman that can be hacked. It's only you and the blockchain, and that's it. And, that's why your coins are safe, because they're effectively offline.
So here's an interesting story. Bitfinex to hacker. Can we have our Bitcoin back?
I think Bitfinex is trying to do, the hackers, that's where the problem is. They stole this money from Bitfinex, but people are watching their Bitcoin account to see those Bitcoin wallets to see when that money is transferred, and trying to catch them. Now what Bitfinex is doing is saying, listen, let's make a deal where you give some of the Bitcoin back and you can keep some of it. And I think this might just happen. I'm not sure if the hacker is interested in that, but they might be if they really want to spend the coins and not be prosecuted.
Yeah,
although it creates a dangerous precedent negotiating with hackers.
Yeah.
And this is the whole thing about ransomware and whatever. It's like almost like negotiating with terrorists now. And negotiating with hackers is a dangerous game. It it creates a precedent that you don't want to create.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Sure. Okay, now we're in Italy. Rome, Bari, Milan House, 3 top Bitcoin-related projects in Italy. And it says here, some of the most relevant Italian tech figures talk about their new projects. So this is an interesting one. They want a law to bring blockchain to public administration.
No, this is like we said all the time. The blockchain is very effective in eliminating human paperwork, because everything can be scanned or done via apps and be verified directly on the blockchain and go through the process. And you don't need as many people in the process. That cuts out human error. So it works well for any administrative process or anything like that. So it's very interesting.
Yes, excellent. And then we're up to Visa to launch blockchain payment service next year. So they've announced new details about a business-to-business payment service developed in partnership with blockchain startup Chain.
Well, everyone is going to start using or everyone is already started using the blockchain and developing apps and stuff like that. And now payment systems are by far the most developed apps by all. And you know, if Visa and MasterCard starts being involved in this, it really you know, it's just more and more adoption by the institutional community.
Exciting stuff. Okay, IT firm Fujitsu sees commercial interest in blockchain security. So they say they've developed tools for confidentially sharing documents via the blockchain.
Well, this is something that is going to develop over time. Our sponsor, Swiss Bank in Your Pocket, is developing a similar thing where you can actually have secured messaging and secure document storage and obviously sharing of those documents over the blockchain. So this is going to be this is a totally new field that is developing and a very, very effective use of the blockchain, in my view.
Absolutely. So I mean, the blockchain is not limited to the financial industry.
No, absolutely not. The blockchain can be used by any industry. I mean, we've seen now the blockchain being used in the medical industry, in agriculture, everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, shipping, all sorts. Okay, IBM and SBI to test blockchain bond trading. So back in Japan again, and they're working with local securities firm on a new blockchain pilot focused on developing the foundations for a bond trading system.
Very, very interesting. I mean, trading systems has been very, very popular to try and put that on the blockchain. We've seen all the big exchanges trying to do the same. And yeah, this is a very interesting development.
You know, it's actually amazing how development and is happening in all the corners of the world.
Very much so.
Now, I think it's kind of the question is, are you not? Oh, so you're not involved. It's rather than, oh, so you are involved.
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. You know, people. If you're involved in the financial community and don't know what a blockchain is, you really have missed out on something. You know.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this other thing is, did you know 1,999% since on the 3rd of January? How many businesses can actually say that? How many networks can say that?
Yeah, that's interesting. And you know, it just shows you that the technology works.
And you know, of course, in our new digital economy, there's huge opportunity for new jobs. New jobs are springing up, but also not only acquisitions, also jobs in the big banks. Yeah, UBS names former APAC CTO new blockchain lead.
If you're a young person and you want to start a career, start thinking about the new economy, the new digital economy. This is the place, everything's going to be on this. So this is the place to be.
Yeah, blockchain will take business models out completely. It'll create new business models. Disruption from blockchain isn't only going to be financial services.
No, that's exactly what we just said. It's in all industries, and you know, people that are looking at this should really look at, you know, your kids and what they're going to study and new jobs being created and stuff like that. It's just a new economy. Everything is new. So, you know, there's so many opportunities. People sitting at home and you don't have money, or you're looking for something to do, or you're looking for a job, look at the new economy. There's so much going on to start a business or to get a job or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. And here's this piece about hedge fund investors withdrew 28.2 billion in the third quarter. I mean, that's massive.
These go up and down, and people are always putting up new hedge funds, with new strategies and stuff like that. But really, like I said, 98% of fund managers underperform the index over time. So really, if you want to be in the top 2% of investors, just buy an index fund. Your fees are much less, and you will move with the market. If you want to really outperform everything, put some money in Bitcoin.
Correct. So, go to our to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. And if you're in India, or if you're interested in getting a slice of the action in India, which is absolutely booming at the moment, there's a video that we did on Bitcoin adoption in India.
Well, Tracy, let me tell you what you were talking about, the luxury yacht, the Finnish company accepting Bitcoin. But last year I went to the Monaco yacht show, and the only people that really were buying your yachts were people from India. So,
Incredible, Peter.
yeah, there's a huge development in that country. 7.5% economic growth, the fastest growing population in the world, and they could be the world's top economy very shortly.
And also, infrastructure is getting rolled out there, is second to none.
Yes.
Right, so here's another one just on our website, on our Facebook page. Bitcoin adoption in the Philippines, also very interesting to see what's going on there politically.
Well, actual fact is we're busy on our around the world tour, going to, talking about adoption in different countries. So the best place to get that is to actually go to our YouTube channel and, go to that playlist. And we'll actually put a link to that playlist in the video below, where you can actually go and see. I think we've done 5 or 6 countries already, and we'll cover the whole world eventually. And
yes.
we do quite a bit of research of what's going on, the Bitcoin adoption in the country, and you'll get a very good feel of of what can be done or what is happening in a country at the moment.
Yes. So this graph actually talks to the procrastinators. Start crying, because look at this price, how it's moving up. This was yesterday.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. The price has been trending upwards now for a long time. And technically, like I said, it made a breakout. So this market can go significantly higher.
Yes. And in fact, yesterday was quite a good trading day, because it was touching on 5 million Bitcoin.
Wow, yeah. So the volume and liquidity is also increasing, which is great. So that just shows you, if volume increases while the price is increasing, that is a good sign.
Yes, it's incredible. It never sleeps, eh? It's not like a normal stock market. So mobile wallets are the new loyalty program. There's retailers that are looking to strengthen ties with customers by making payment convenient. So at the moment they're doing, the whole, it says here, during checkout at stores, customers can tap their phones on the payment terminal or scan a QR code. So guess what? I'm sure Bitcoin is fast going to be one of those payment methods.
Companies. I'm sure some of them already have Bitcoin integrated with whatever they're doing, but this is the growing industry, is payment systems.
Yes, absolutely. So on the price surging through, interesting one. Pentagon, 1.8 million deal to use blockchain for data security. They've signed a partnership with 2 tech firms to study blockchain used to secure sensitive military data.
Very, very interesting. And yeah, that's what that stuff is going to be used for. The blockchain is just becoming more and more useful. More and more companies now, even the Pentagon is using it. And that is, we're reporting the news on major organizations using this. This doesn't cover all the small and medium-sized businesses and even big businesses that are using this technology. And you know what? If this people just realize that when all these things start going online, this is going to put a fire under the Bitcoin price that you haven't seen.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like the quiet before the storm.
You know what, Tracy? I mean, I've been looking at smart contracts now for a long time, and there's a lot of smart contract apps being developed, but not one is working yet. They're all in beta phase, in testing and stuff like that. If these things really go online, they are going to start using that blockchain. That is going to put in a tremendous amount of demand under Bitcoin.
Yeah. And certainly on different industries, such as, let's say, the insurance industry.
Yes, absolutely.
So we really are watching something completely exciting unfold.
Yes, absolutely we are.
Okay, this is another article. Cross-border payments settled via Bitcoin increased almost tenfold in 2016.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised if this measurement is low.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of cross-border payment and happening. And remember, they only measure the stuff that's been received and then transferred back into fiat currency. So there's a lot of cross-border payments where the guys are just keeping their stuff in Bitcoin at the moment, keeping it in all kinds of places. Just don't keep it in a hot wallet, please.
Yeah, please not.
Don't keep your stuff on a central server.
Yeah. And and of course, as you mentioned, there's these companies that maybe if there's a company that's got branches in different countries, it kind of makes sense, say, to move the Bitcoin around.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is you get companies now with the Bitcoin treasury that they keep their money centrally in Bitcoin. It's much easier than, and you can transfer it to any of their branches easily.
Excellent. Investor cash levels jumped towards levels not seen since 9/11. We did a short video on this, but this is another article about the problem with cash.
Investors are moving their money to cash because they believe that cash is not risky. In actual fact, cash carries a tremendous risk at the moment because firstly, you've got the risk that you're not earning anything on your cash. Secondly, your fiat currency that you're keeping it in is continuously losing value because of money printing. And thirdly, you've got systemic risk of places where you never know when your government decides to freeze your bank account, or do like Cyprus and Greece just takes a percentage in terms of either a confiscation or a new tax. So really, if you think your cash is a risk-free investment, you need to think again. And there are alternatives. We actually made a video about this. That Bitcoin is less risky than cash at the moment, and it's something that, if you have time, go watch that video and give it a bit of a think.
So you're telling me I must take my cash from underneath my mattress and turn it into Bitcoin?
No. If your cash is underneath your mattress, at least it's safe in your own house. It's not lying with a bank where things can happen to it.
Well, Peter, you know what we need to do? We need to do a recording on smart contracts and how they actually work, so people can understand them. But here's a little diagram done by Business Insider, so it just kind of explains everything in a simple way.
Yeah, the smart contracts is a very, very exciting area of blockchain development. I'm actually going on Thursday evening. I'm going to a conference a meetup here in London, where we're going to talk about smart contracts again. So I'll give you guys some feedback about that. And on the 21st of November, November, there is a big blockchain conference also in London, part of the blockchain storm. And one of the areas of discussion is going to be smart contracts. So we'll definitely keep up to date with this.
Excellent, Peter. Dutch hackathon looks at blockchain energy solutions. So that happened, and it's also talking about Internet of Things, sensors for hackers developing energy concepts. They're sort of like flinging around this word hacker.
Yeah, I think the idea of hackathon is a positive one. I mean, not all hacking is negative. Hacking means that you tap into something for some reason. Now, most hackers do this for to gain some advantage, or to shut a website down or whatever. But there's also with these hackathons and stuff like that, they actually physically try to improve software and improve efficiencies and stuff like that. So so this is a good thing.
So it must be a lot of fun for the hackers.
Yeah, there are such a thing as an ethical hacker. Their job is to actually improve software and stuff like that. It's like anything, people use things for good things and for bad things. And unfortunately, our human nature is always to focus, on the bad. If something use something for something bad, they want to ban it. But if you think about it logically, think of cars. How many robberies, how many thefts, how many stuff happens from people using a motor vehicle as a getaway car. You're not going to
Mm,
ban cars because of that, because it's too useful. And it's
mm,
exactly the same thing. Every single thing that we develop, every technology, every product can be used for good or for evil. The
mm,
fact is, and to ban the product or the thing is not the answer or the solution, because then you've got to ban everything in the world, because there's not one thing that's ever been developed that have not been used for clandestine purposes.
You're right, Peter. Absolutely correct. So, Sonero partners Silicon Valley's NFX Guild to accelerate decentralized apps. But,
Yeah, well, it's another app accelerator. And so what they do is they basically supporting companies that are developing decentralized apps on the blockchain.
excellent.
I see this is an Israeli company that's doing this.
Actually, I like this quote by Buddha. The trouble is you think you have time.
This talks directly to the procrastinators who are waiting to see what is happening with Bitcoin. Guys, let me give you my quote. Wake up and smell the coffee, because you're going to wake up one morning and the Bitcoin price is going to go to 1,000, then it's going to go to 5,000, it's going to go to 10,000, and you're going to kick yourselves because of procrastination. Why wait? What are you waiting for? Don't tell yourself there's time to, I want to see what happens. Bitcoin is happening. The blockchain is happening. If you've been following the news, you see all the smart money, all the big countries, all the big government institutions, all the big banks are involved already. If you're not involved, you're the one being left behind. You're not
Correct.
even inside the new digital economy, and you're not serious about yourself and your and the future of your family and your wealth. If you're
Mm,
serious about this, you will get involved. At least get yourself educated, and you can get a free education by doing two things. One, follow our Facebook page. Two, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then just watch the videos.
absolutely. So talking about fiat currency and how it devalues, look at these guys in Bangladesh just piling the cash in these bags. That's a currency that's also done very badly, and it's dropping. I mean, it's deteriorating 50%. It did in 3 years. It declined by 50% over in 1980s, and it just keeps going down and down and down. So yeah. We'll do something on Bangladesh sometime soon as well.
That's true. But hyperinflation, we all think of the Zimbabwe story about the $10 trillion notes. Still, you can still go buy them at the airport as a souvenir.
Hmm. Warning, we found this on the internet, and this is a cryptocurrency that isn't a cryptocurrency. So just make sure that you do before you jump into something like this.
This is South Africa's first and only cryptocurrency. And, it's not real. We've covered this in depth. The financial media in South Africa has covered this. But Tracy, this is the tip of the iceberg. There's so many of these schemes out there. And, we can't report on them all. But
No,
really,
we can't.
the thing is, if you're really wondering about something, then probably it is. So, there are many other ways to earn Bitcoin and to make your Bitcoin grows. Just look for some proper stuff, and it's not difficult, But yeah, just stay away from that type of stuff.
So PwC say blockchain will drive holiday season logistics.
That's very interesting. I mean, blockchain is the logistic companies are really embracing the blockchain because of the tracking. The way to track packages and to verify that it's real, and to actually just you can use an smartphone to quickly scan something and to see where it's come from, where it's going to, stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And actually, they're talking here about, they say that shoppers this year will spend 10% more than last. Retailers will benefit. They reckon 62% of them expecting to increase their overall sales. But, there's always ways and means to try and get the costs down. And, consumers aren't, definitely do need to feel that efficiencies in the supply chain. And, you know, blockchain is going to do that.
You know what, Tracy? If I was a retail store on a high street or I had mini shops, I would be shivering in my boots, because the thing is, people like Amazon and whatever are becoming more and more efficient. And what happens is this just drives prices down, and it just makes normal traditional stores less competitive. So if your store is not providing some kind of unique experience now, and you're just trying to be a value discounter, you should be online, not in a retail store.
Yeah, absolutely. But having said that, there's a lot of online stores that say that people still go to their showrooms, basically for showroom, you know, and they still go and order online. So interesting. Okay, talking about, we spoke about that previous South African cryptocurrency. Here's another one that's a bit of a problem, that there's many people that are warning about this OneCoin, which is also not a. Then cryptocurrency index funds simulations have surprising results. For stocks, 99% of index funds that buy the entire market passively outperform actively managed funds. So they're doing a simulation. About 3 years. Oh yes, actually what they did is they did the simulation. It's in the report, and the don't have a read. The Bitcoin outperformed the altcoin portfolio by 3.8 times. And then we're up to the bank execs want even playing field for industry blockchains. Basically just talking about the same thing, you know, all the open source to sure that the banks really talk to each other.
Yeah, the banks are already cooperating in this area. Sorry, Tracy, I seem to have lost your sound a little bit there, but let's just carry on.
Okay. This is something that that you like to do, Peter, is think.
Well, it's not illegal yet to think. You know, it's still legal. So use your brain while you can, while it's still allowed.
Well, you can. Okay, then Aussie Bank's 7,000-mile blockchain experiment could change. So it's really about moving cotton off to the Chinese port. So I think after this is done, it'll be interesting to see what the report has to say.
Well, that's going to be very interesting. I mean, like I said, logistics is one of the biggest users of the blockchain. That's how I got involved in the blockchain in the beginning, is with the logistics clients. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going a little bit further now. Let's talk about the yuan. Slides closer to crisis peak as watchers see bumpy ride.
Well, I saw this morning. This is one of the the yuan is losing value, and this is one of the reasons why people say the Bitcoin price is increasing value, and we're seeing a lot of buying in China at the moment of Bitcoin. So this might be the reason, or a reason.
Yeah, definitely. There you go. Make your money work for you. Buy Bitcoin.
I love your creatives, by the way. They're very creative.
Thank you. This is also just talking to that price rise, over 4% in the last 24 hours. But they actually say that it's led by Chinese exchanges on the back of mining conference. There was a mining conference talking about the scaling debate. You know, that's a debate that's been going on for some time now. I reckon they're getting close to agreement.
I think if they agree on that, we will see a bit of a spike in the Bitcoin price as well. That's good news for Bitcoin. That the fact that they're actually, scaling the block size and make it possible for more people to actually use the system.
Yes, absolutely. And just for everybody out there, if you go to our page, you'll see this this interesting video on Bitcoin, blockchain, and banking. So just go and watch this and see what Swiss Bank in Your Pocket has got in store for us. Very, very exciting stuff, all about your digital assets, your data, your money, your passwords, your messaging. So it's a very, very exciting space to watch.